to serve time, which was a vast majority of it had never been mine at all. Being here was a life that I had for me, for my family, for my friends and loved ones. That's why I said I want to say thank you to each and everybody that's sitting here, standing here, or being here, period, to let you know that my thing now is I refused, well, at the time, I refused to let life change my life. I refused to be a bad guy. So what I did was I used education as a means in which to change my life. And as a result of my achievements, like we just explained to you about my having received college degrees, I did. Nobody in the history of the United States has ever had any prison with people to make situations that made a difference in their lives. So what I'm saying now is the fact that the youth of America are young guys that are smart in different ways because they want to make money. They want to get a life that's theirs. But at the same time, it puts them in situations where you're in a war of army with guys that was your friend, are no longer your friend, or things that are just negative. So with me, my thing is this. While I was incarcerated, my mother died. So I never had an opportunity to say, Mom, it's that time. I thought, with my mother, I always teased her. I said, Mom, if you ain't alive, I'm gonna have to dig you up or beat you up. And then she said, oh, God, you ain't gonna do nothing but cry first. I said, Mom, I ain't gonna cry about that. She said, yeah. But my whole thing is this, is that the youngsters that are presently incarcerated, the hard part for them is that, okay, your father might die. With me, this is an example. My father died, but was no tears and nothing in his eyes, wasn't no tears in my eyes, because he was always good for beating up me and my mother, and I was 11 years old. So it was one of those situations where I was sent to jail for a crime I didn't even have nothing to do with that shit. I was so mad it just got the best of me. But I didn't hate. I didn't allow hate to get the best of me, because as a result of carrying hate, that shit is so heavy. If I was hating, oh my God, I would just, guys would say, hey, so-and-so? I said, man, I ain't with that. Y'all have to find out on your own, because I didn't want to be a part of hatred, and I let it go. But now what I'm saying is that to the youth of America that's incarcerated, I was able to bring guys together. I ended up with 100 guys. I had them sign up for a class that I was in the joint with. And I said, dig this here, man. I said, it's an opportunity for each and every one of you sitting here to grant something that's positive that's yours. Not hate, but something that'll make a difference so that you can help other people. So what happened was, it was 100 guys that became guys that wanted to be a part of the movies that I was writing and the things that I was writing. So a lot of guys said, man, I want to write something about drugs. I said, I'm not with that, man. I ain't never been like that. My father, like I said, he would beat up me and my mother. I mean, there was times when I wanted to beat the shit out of him for real. But when they sent me to jail for 5 years, I said, oh my God. The only thing that really saved them was the fact that my mother lived on the 3rd floor of a building. And so my father was there, but he was never in my mother's house, because he was that guy that all he wants to do is just beat up my moms. So I never, as a kid, I never decided, like guys would say, yo, God, come on, man, we can go play some ball in here or there. I said, no, I can't go, man, because I'm not leaving my moms here, knowing that my pops is going to beat up my moms. Shit. So, but I wasn't hatred. It wasn't hatred. My mother was there. My father was there. And he adopted me. But every time he came home drunk is when he wanted to just beat me up, beat my mother up. Because I was only 11 years old. But after that, when I had to do this 5 years for something I ain't had nothing to do, and I wasn't telling on no goddamn body. I said, I ain't telling. The dudes playing dirty, they gonna have that coming. You know, so there's nothing I can do about it. I didn't say then I did my time and I came home. But after that, there were so many positive things that got the best of me. Being here and making this joint, my joint, when I came home, it made a difference. And I made the name of this joint was Us. And when I say us, each and every one that's here, y'all know what I'm talking about.
No doubt.
Us and us alone. And that's how I went. And I did everything I could possibly do. And what made it so good for me was the fact that the United States was never able to have a guy that would have 5 college degrees. So they had no choice but to not call me Guy Fisher. I mean, to my friends, yeah, they could have said, yo, skinny, yo, old man, young guys, they could say that, you know. I'm saying, okay. But at the bottom line was, it opened the door for me because I had the college degrees. And nobody here in the United States was able to come forth with it. So what happened, they wound up freeing me. And when they freed me, I said, man, the one thing about it is I can't wait to be a part of the youth of America's lives. I said, I can't change my father. I mean, when he got drunk, I wanted to beat the shit out of him, I swear. But I couldn't, because my mother was up on the 3rd floor, and so when I look up, she said, God, she'd be saying like a whisper, God. And I just looked up at her and I said, all right, Mom, all right. So my stepfather, he was there. So when I was walking by him, I wanted to beat the shit out of him. All I did was I couldn't beat him up, and my mother said, God, no. I said, I won't, okay. But at the same time, I just walked him like that. But he didn't want no trouble. So he said, oh, when you came home? I said, man, if I tell you, I got a key. And so the bottom line was, my thing is to get the youth to get degrees. And as a result of them receiving, college degrees, it made it better. Because first of all, when it comes to men that's in the joint, and anybody that's been in here that knows with being in jail, if your mother passes away while you're incarcerated, you're not going to no funeral. You can't go nowhere because they're not going to take you to where your mother was buried. They're not going to do none of those things. You're stuck. So my whole thing to tell the youth of America is, look, man, y'all got to let that shit go. Street shit. If you're here for a murder, if you're here for shooting somebody, you can't do that. Because if you do it, they're never going to let you go. But if you get a college degree, it's better. And you, first of all, when it comes to men that's in the joint, and anybody that's been in here that knows with being in jail, if your mother passes away while you're incarcerated, you're not going to no funeral. You can't go nowhere because they're not going to take you to where your mother was buried. They're not going to do none of those things. You're stuck. So my whole thing to tell the youth of America is, look, man, y'all got to let that shit go. Street shit. If you're here for a murder, if you're here for shooting somebody, you can't do that. Because if you do it, they're never going to let you go. But if you get a college degree and you continue to enhance your life and yourself, moms is always first. Yeah.
Amen.
First.
Amen.
So that's the difference. And my life has been different now because of the things that I've come in contact with. And I refuse to take certain things when certain European, certain individuals would come around and say, hey, Fisher, the warden told me to talk to you. I said, man, get the fuck out of here. I said, man, who the fuck you talking to? I said, you ain't nothing but a bitch. Get the fuck out of here, man. I said, you a motherfucker. I said, man, when you get in one of them blocks, that ass of yours gonna be this wide. They're gonna tear your ass up. I said, as soon as they see you, they're gonna tear your ass up. But what happened was, one of my attorneys told me, he said, God, you can't keep getting on them guys like that. I said, what? The judge sent them to see me, and when the judge sent them to see me, I said, man, get the fuck out of here. I said, get your motherfucking fake ass, bitch ass. I said, man, Just get the fuck away from me, man. Don't come around me for nothing. And I told the warden, I said, warden, man, why would you be bringing people in here, man, for some old bullshit?
My husband is so happy to be here. Never gonna let you go. Never. He will not leave the stage. It's been over 40 years that he attended this Apollo, and he's overwhelmed with feelings. And I really appreciate you guys, and I am going to forever take care of your king.
I want to say this. If she wasn't my wife, I'd have smacked her ass. I just want to say thank you to everybody.
And thank you, Bunny and family.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be horn uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the root men.